Hi, I'm Becky Wood, Senior Director of Global Mobility at ADP. I chaired the GMJ Congress around branding the mobility function because I believe it's really important that we correctly explain how we support our stakeholders and what it is that we do.
I'm Tara Mendez. I'm the Senior Global Mobility Specialist here at Adobe, and I'm based in Australia. I chaired the April Congress because the topic itself, branding in mobility, was and is super relevant and super important to all of us at the moment as we come out of, dare I say, the pandemic. And while we seize the opportunity of all the great work we've done over the last 2 years in supporting the organisations that we all work for, the opportunity to chair the session in itself was a really great opportunity to meet with some of the leading mobility practitioners from the EMEA and the APAC region, but also to hear some of the best practices and share some of those from myself as well.
The GMJ Congress is always a great place where you can see your professional colleagues that you don't normally get to see. It's a wonderful opportunity to bring everyone together to talk about current events and really find out what are other people doing in their programs, so you can then take that back and make your program better.
In particular, I really enjoy the GMJ Congress formats because, one, they're structured really well. Andy and the team put together a really clear agenda to follow. So as a chairperson, it's quite reassuring, and you have a good set of guidelines for yourself to follow if you're not so experienced in doing it before. But also the format, provides a really nice balance between that formal and casual fireside chat feel, where you can, open up to people with your best practices in a confidential and supported way, but also you can hear from other people as well. And it really, I find the atmosphere, even though it's virtual, really lends to people opening up and sharing some of their experiences.
I really enjoyed chairing this Congress because we were talking about such an important topic, which is branding the mobility function. It's really kind of near and dear to my heart because I do think our function is not well understood outside of the core folks that really deal with it on a day-to-day basis. So both kind of internally within our organizations, I think there's a lot of information sharing and education that happens, and then externally to the marketplace where we really show our value to the organization. So it's always a lot of great dialogue and discussion, and definitely this is something that a lot of companies are talking about and we're all trying to do better at.
I think the branding of mobility function is very relevant right now, and so the timing of this particular Congress was well done from Andy and the team in the sense of, I think everybody needed to stop, take a beat, look back on the 2 years and really understand how they're going to position themselves moving forward. We've come out of 2 years of quite a hard slog on finding people, supporting people, replacing people, and now we're running straight back into returning to business as usual in the new norm. So I think right now is, as I said, a good point to stop and reflect on that and look at how we position and leverage that work we've done to move forward and I guess continue to or establish that seat at the table that perhaps we haven't been able to as mobility practitioners to date. So it's a unique point in time, and I think if we don't seize it right now, it will be a really big missed opportunity. And I think the Congress around this subject brought some really great ideas and suggestions to light around how we do that, and some people's thinkings around the subject in general.
My biggest takeaway from this GMJ Congress and around branding the mobility function was COVID really gave us the opportunity to be put in the spotlight and to really show to our organizations how and where we add value. And we all need to keep that momentum going and keep our seat at the table now that we have it, and continue to show our organizations and support them where they most need us.
I think some of the key takeaways that I took from the April Congress around branding of mobility was tailoring your pitch around mobility and its services appropriately to the audience, and not only from a seniority level within the organisation, but also taking into consideration the cultural aspects of your audience as well. Yeah, veering away from that one-size-fits-all solution, and really taking into consideration, for example, if you're speaking to a leadership team, you take perhaps a cost-saving lens. If you're talking to perhaps a predominantly expat pool within a culturally sensitive location, you tailor those communications appropriately. The other thing that that really resonated with me as well was, to stay part of the conversation, sometimes you need to be the conversation. And so, looking at and demonstrating and highlighting some of the major achievements that you've worked through in the last perhaps 2 years, or even in the last 6 months, or even perhaps highlighting, what the roadmap forward for is the team, to really show the value and emphasize the value of the mobility team. And then lastly, the classic why mobility, why use mobility, what value does it bring? And again, that could be looking back and reaching back into the last 2 years to pull out some classic examples, but also really demonstrating, the lessons we've learned from the last 2 years, how we can add value to the organisation moving forward.
Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you at the next GMJ Congress. Bye.
Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye.